If you've decided to try melatonin, but you're staring at the bottle wondering, how much? What time? What do I do if this is wrong? You're not alone. Hi, I'm Diane Lusney, and I support moms of autistic children aged 4 to 12 who are dealing with persistent sleep struggles. Most important for this video, I am not a doctor or pharmacist. This is just what I've found through research and my belief to start low when it comes to melatonin. The ideal is that you are working with a doctor, right? Okay, let's dive in. Point 1, start low and time it right. Dosages. When it comes to melatonin, less is often best. For most children, age 4 to 12, start with 0.5 to 1 milligram. That's it. I know the bottle might say 3 milligrams or 5 milligrams on the label. Ignore that for now. Those doses may have been tested and designed for adults. Lower doses are often just as effective as higher doses, and starting low gives you room to adjust if needed. Timing. Give melatonin 30 to 60 minutes before you want your child to feel sleepy, not before bedtime, before sleep. Here's the distinction. If bedtime is 8 p.m., but your child doesn't usually fall asleep until about 10 p.m., you're aiming for that 10 p.m. window. Give melatonin at 9 to 9:30 p.m. Melatonin signals nighttime is here, but if you give it too early, when their body isn't ready to receive that signal, which is their body hasn't settled for the night or their natural melatonin hasn't started to rise, the supplement won't have much impact. Start closer to where your child is now and then work your way towards an earlier bedtime. If you want to learn more about sleep readiness, watch my video, The Most Common Melatonin Mistake When Considering It for Your Autistic Child. Why less is best. Melatonin is a timing signal, not a sedative. You're not trying to knock them out. You're trying to reawaken or support their internal clock and, over time, nudge their internal clock to match the real time. A small dose can shift sleep timing by 30 to 60 minutes. That might be all you need to start the process of moving the fall asleep time forward. And if 0.5 milligrams works, there's no reason to give 3 milligrams. More melatonin doesn't mean better sleep. It just increases the risk of next day grogginess or a possible side effect. Also, many people have found cycling, that is, giving it for a set amount of time and then not giving it for another amount of time and going back and forth between the two, that works best. What you can do. Tonight, if you're ready to start, give 0.5 to 1 milligram of melatonin 30 to 60 minutes before you expect sleep to happen, not at bedtime, but the actual time they usually fall asleep. First, we can get the body used to the melatonin, see if there's any side effects, and then gradually change the sleep time, inching it earlier in the evening. Also, consider moving other evening activities earlier to support the body being ready to fall asleep earlier. Start tracking tonight, whether or not you have started giving the melatonin. Here are some ideas. Track how regulated they appear after dinner and when starting the bedtime routine. What is included in the bedtime routine? That's handy to have tracked in case you decide to make changes later on and need to look back. Also, track when you gave the melatonin, their sleep readiness when they're climbing into bed, how long before they fall asleep, and, importantly, how they are in the morning. Point 2, what to watch for and what to ignore. Melatonin is not a natural sleeping pill. It's doubtful you're going to see dramatic results on the first night. What normal looks like. Over the first 3 to 7 nights, You might notice your child seems slightly drowsier 30 to 45 minutes after the dose. Sleep onset might happen 15 to 30 minutes earlier than usual. The wide awake at 11 p.m. pattern starts to shift. These are subtle changes, but they're meaningful. If bedtime used to take 2 hours and now takes 90 minutes or 100 minutes, that is huge progress, even if it doesn't feel like it, since there is still a way to go. Notice that there's a shift. What to ignore? Don't panic if night 1 looks exactly the same as previous nights. Melatonin takes time to shift the circadian rhythm. Your child still has some resistance or requests at bedtime. Melatonin doesn't address regulation, only timing. Sleep isn't perfect after 1 week or even 2. You are resetting an internal clock, not flipping a switch. Red flags to watch out for. Stop and reassess if you notice next day grogginess that lasts more than 30 minutes after waking. Perhaps the dose might be too high or the timing too late. Another one, increased anxiety or hyperactivity before bed. That's rare, but it can happen. Also, nightmares or vivid dreams that weren't there before. This is the most common issue I've heard about, and I personally may have experienced it, but for me, it could have been coincidence. I naturally dream a lot, and there was a huge time difference because of a flight, and I was overtired. So nightmares can mean that melatonin is unsuitable, or it can indicate the dose was too high. If you see any of these, pause for a few nights and then restart with a lower dose or earlier timing. What you can do. Give melatonin at least 1 week before deciding it's not working, unless you are noticing unwanted side effects. Review the tracking from point 1, what you can do. But for this, what you can do, have your child get up at the same time every morning. And if possible, get outside into the sunlight in the first 30 to 60 minutes. This resets their circadian rhythm or internal clock. If sleep is a serious issue and getting out into the sun isn't feasible, an inexpensive light box might be a consideration. And remember, melatonin addresses timing. If your child's nervous system is still activated, you need regulation strategies alongside melatonin. That's where my free T-Zone system for relaxation and sleep comes in. It gives you simple, practical tools to support nervous system regulation before bed. The link is in the description below. Point 3, how to adjust without second-guessing yourself. After a week to a month, you'll have enough information to know what's working and what needs adjusting. In all of the scenarios, remember, a regulated body is more likely to be sleep ready. I cannot stress this enough. Melatonin isn't magic and isn't a sleeping pill. What you can do. Use this decision tree below to adjust without overthinking. Scenario 1. Your child is falling asleep earlier, but still taking a long time to settle. What this means. Timing is shifting, that is, melatonin is working, but regulation is still an issue. What to do. Keep the current dose and timing. Add regulation support before bed. Things like deep pressure, calm activities, slow resistance movement, predictable routine. This is a melatonin plus regulation situation, not a melatonin only situation. Scenario 2. Your child seems drowsy after the dose, but sleep still isn't happening. What this means, the signal is arriving, but might be arriving too early, or the body isn't ready to act on it yet. What to do? Push the timing later by 15 to 30 minutes. Give melatonin closer to when sleep actually happens, not when you wish it would happen, and wait for success before changing the timing again. Scenario 3. Nothing has changed at all after 7 nights. What this means: either timing isn't the issue and melatonin won't help, that means it's regulation or something else, or the dose is too low to create a signal. What to do? Try increasing the dose slightly. Give it another 5-ish nights. If still no change, melatonin likely isn't the primary barrier. Focus on nervous system regulation and evening routines for now. Scenario 4. Your child is falling asleep earlier and sleep is noticeably easier. What this means: melatonin is working exactly as intended. What to do? Keep the current dose and timing. Don't increase just because more might be better. You found the right amount. Over time, you might try cycling the melatonin or reducing it just to see if there's an impact. Remember, melatonin isn't a pass or fail, it's information. As with so many things in life, it's testing and trying. If you've tried melatonin and have hit one of these scenarios, or you're about to start and feeling nervous, leave a comment below. I'm interested in what are the most common issues and concerns. Or if melatonin interests you, but so do some other supplements. Comment below that you'd be interested in learning about other supplements, and also say which supplements you'd be interested in. So now you have the protocol. You know how to start, what to watch for, and what to adjust. But here's the next hurdle I hear. I know what to do, but either it changes over time or a week later and I haven't done anything about it. I get it. We all know where good intentions take us. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's exactly what I break down in the next video. It's called With or Without Melatonin: How to Increase Your Child's Chance of a Successful Night's Sleep. See you there.